Hey everyone, Robert Drysdale here. We're going to be talking about what to do when you're on the ground in a real life situation. Typically self-defense, I break it down into three categories. One, when we're already on the ground. Two, when you are fighting someone in open space. And three, when we're fighting someone in close quarters, right? So this first situation, we're going to assume that someone already is on top of us, you got taken down. This is particularly relevant for women if you're scared of a sexual assault, someone trying to rape you. This is what you want to do to get back up to your feet and how to protect yourself in order so you don't get hurt. So if you, honestly, and I mentioned this in a previous video about self-defense, you need actual live practice. I don't count on memory. I think memory is not going to help you in a real life situation. You need to learn reflexes. You need to learn how to teach your body how to react intelligently and quickly, right? So that's why live action, actually learning how to grapple is so important. If you don't have that grappling experience, it's going to be very difficult to deal with someone on top of you in a real life situation. So basically what we're going to be doing is what we call a butterfly guard. Now, why is the butterfly guard so efficient for a self-defense situation? In fact, it's the guard that I normally teach when I train MMA fighters, right? You got a lot of strikers in the gym and they don't want to be on the ground. They want to keep it on their feet. And they, Rob, what do? This guy's a very good wrestler. He's going to get on top of me. He's going to take me down, but I want to be able to get back to my feet, right? And a lot of times they come with like, I'm going to play closed guard. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. I'm like, no, butterfly. Butterfly is the fastest way to stand back up and preventing someone from holding you down. And I'm going to explain why. So let's say, I'm assuming Aaron got on top of me, right? Like if my feet are on the air, this is where a position where you would be attacked. You don't want your legs on the outside. And what in jiu-jitsu we call an open guard or a closed guard if I were here. This is where you don't want to be, right? So one thing you're going to be very active about in a real life situation is about getting your feet on the inside and what we call a butterfly.
Let's see how well Kane fights off his back.
If my feet are on the inside, you can't be raped. It's impossible as long as your legs are on the outside. And the other thing that this does, it allows me to sit up because if my feet are closer to me, I can sit up. If my legs are on the outside and I go back down, it's harder for me to come up. My legs are on the outside. If my feet are on the inside, I can always sit up and I can stand up a lot faster. We're going to get there. So how do I get to butterfly? In order for you to get to butterfly, you're going to use a lot of what we call shoulder shrimping. Your leg's going to be helping, but it's going to be mostly on your shoulders. So if I happen to be underneath someone with my legs on the outside, what I'm always going to be doing is pushing off my feet, moving my shoulders back to create enough room to get my feet on the inside. I'm exaggerating here. You don't need that much space. Anytime you can get your feet on the inside, you should. Because once your feet are on the inside, you're safe from an attack. Now, you're still in trouble in the sense that you still have someone trying to, attack you, but it's a lot easier to defend yourself if your feet are on the inside. So one more time. If my feet were on the outside, I'm going to have to shrimp moving off my feet and my shoulders. It's very important that you learn how to move off your shoulders. Why? A lot of instructors will just emphasize the legs, but the truth of the matter is his arms are free. So he might be trying to hold my legs. If my legs are being held, I may not be able to push off my feet, so I'm going to have to rely on my shoulders to move as well. So if he were just trying to hold my legs, I can do this right here, and then I create the space to get my feet on the inside. Once my feet are on the inside, I am going to sit up. I don't want to be flat on my back. This is very important. If you're flat on your back, you're pinned, you're stuck. Once I'm sitting up, he might try to push me back down. An attacker might try to push me back down. If I let him, he's going to win that fight. So what do I do once I sit up, once I get my feet on the inside? We're going to use it's basically like a tie clinch, right? Like this, I teach this a lot in MMA because it is the fastest way to get back to your feet, and it would be effective in a situation where a woman is being attacked, right? You're going to cup, not the back of the neck, more the top of the head. I'll do it on this side so you guys can see. And the important thing is that I'm framing the shoulder with my forearm, not with my hand, not with my elbow. With the upper half of your forearm has got to go in the trap area and I'm going to hold the head. What that's going to do is it creates a very strong frame between me and him. Notice that my elbow can't go up. If my elbow goes up, that means he can get, yes, exactly. He gets his arm inside, he can push me back down. If I'm here in front of him, this prevents him from driving forward because I have a strong frame. Notice that I'm not going to push him away. That's not what I'm doing. I'm just framing. Now, where people get paranoid about a situation like this, and if you're not used to rolling, not used to grappling, is people kind of panic a little because they think, oh, you're going to get him away from me. And pushing is not only very physically difficult, technically it's not that efficient. You want to frame and move yourself. So if you have a problem in front of you, you don't try to move the problem. You're going to move yourself away from the problem, okay? Good life advice on that one too. Move away from the problem. Don't try to fix things. All right. So if I'm in here, back of the head, frame the chest here and the shoulder. Elbow closed. Why elbow closed? If the elbow opens, he gets inside. You don't want that to happen. You want this. Second important thing, you want the hand behind you. Not on the outside, not out here, behind you. As further back as you can go. Like, I mean, as close to your hips as you can go. Lock the elbow. What this does is when Aaron tries to run into me, I'm very strong. I have a strong structure here. Try to put me down. Put me on my back. Like it doesn't, my arm holds me. Now this is the easy part. Look, and the important part. Look at my right leg, the bottom leg. I'm quick to stand back up and I maintain that frame. Once I'm up on that frame, I got a lot of different options here. I can go up and run. He's not holding me down anymore. I can knee him in the head. Okay, I can drop an elbow, I can punch, I can try to choke him, I can try to go to the back. I have a number of different options. Depending on the situation, the smartest thing to do normally is gonna be to run, right? But you see how quickly I got up on my feet? And that's because I'm in butterfly guard. So in a real life situation, you don't wanna be using what we call a closed guard. You don't want your leg on the outside, you want your feet on the inside. One more time. So if I start here, with my leg on the outside, I'm gonna shoulder shrimp, and I'm gonna get my feet on the inside, I'm gonna sit up immediately into that collar tie. Back of the head, frame his chest, his shoulder here with my forearm. Very important that the elbow doesn't open. Here he gets inside, he holds me down. You gotta block, you create that strong frame. My hand goes behind me. Look what's happening next. Look at my right leg. It goes way back there. So I pull my right leg back and I create a strong structure here between my left foot, my right foot, and my right hand. And I get very quickly, I get to my feet. Once again, I've taught this a lot in MMA classes, like especially strikers that don't want to be held down. They want to get that back to their feet. And they're asking me which guard should I learn, and I'm always butterfly. It's also very efficient for sweeps and submissions. It's not what we're doing right now. I think that for MMA and self-defense, to me, butterfly is by far the best guard. Like not even close. Like a lot of people put a lot of focus on closed guard. You're being held down. And depending on the situation, you don't want to be held down. Even if you can put someone in a triangle or an armbar eventually, I think closed guard is a terrible idea. Butterfly is where it's at because you can stand up quickly and run. And for self-defense purposes, running is always the best option. You don't want to get stuck on the ground with someone, whether it's a nightclub, a bar, or a sexual assault. Like you don't want to be underneath anyone. Okay, you want to get back to your feet and you want to get the hell out of there, and you want to do that as quickly as possible.